Now that you know how to solve square root and cube root equations, you can solve radical equations involving any root using the same steps. So remember, we're going to go ahead and start off by isolating the radical on one side of the equation. Then we're going to raise each side of the equation to a power that equals the index of the radical. Then we'll solve the resulting equation to isolate the variable, and remember to always check your solutions. So remember, the main idea here is that we can undo that root using a power that is equal to the index. So for example, a square root has an index of 2. That's why we go ahead and undo it by squaring both sides of the equation. Cube roots have an index of 3. So we undo the cube root by raising everything to a power of 3. So if we have any kind of root, an nth root, we can undo that root by raising both sides to an nth power. So let's go ahead and try some examples. Let's solve this for x. You can see we have a fourth root here in our problem, so we're going to start off by first isolating the radical. So I'm going to do that by subtracting 2 from both sides. So when I subtract 2 from both sides, I get the fourth root of 5x plus 1 is equal to 5 minus 2, which is 3. So now I have the radical by itself, so I'm going to undo it by raising everything to a power equal to that index, which is 4. So I'm going to raise both sides to the fourth power, so that's going to give me 5x plus 1 is equal to 3 to the fourth, which is 81. So now I need to go ahead and solve for x, so I'm going to work on isolating the variable, so I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides, and that's going to give me 5x equals 81 minus 1, which is 80. Now I'm going to go ahead and divide both sides by 5 to solve for x, so that's going to give me x is equal to 80 over 5, which is 16. Remember, I always want to check my solutions to make sure that I found a solution that is not extraneous, so I'm going to do the fourth root of 5 times 16 plus 1 plus 2 is equal to 5. So that's the fourth root of 5 times 16, which is 80. So 80 plus 1 plus 2 is equal to 5. So that's telling me that the fourth root of 81 plus 2 is equal to 5. So that's the fourth root of 81 is 3. So 3 plus 2 equals 5. That is in fact true. So now let's try this example. So here we have a fifth root. So let's start off by isolating that radical by adding 7 to both sides. So when I add 7 to both sides, I get the fifth root of x minus 5 equals negative 5 plus 7, which is 2. Now I'm going to undo the radical by raising both sides to the fifth power. So when I do that on the left side, I have x minus 5 equals 2 to the fifth, which is 32. So now I just need to isolate the variable by adding 5 to both sides. When I add 5 to both sides, I get x is equal to 37. Let's go ahead and check and make sure that we found a solution that works. So we have the fifth root of 37 minus 5 minus 7 equals negative 5. So that tells me the fifth root of 37 minus 5, that's 32, minus 7 equals negative 5. Fifth root of 32 is 2, so 2 minus 7 equals negative 5 is in fact true. So now you can go ahead and pause the video and try doing this example on your own. So once again here, we need to start off by isolating the variable, so I'm going to add 2 to both sides. So I have the fourth root of 3x minus 11 is equal to 3 plus 2, which is 5. Now I can go ahead and undo that radical by raising both sides to the fourth power. So when I do that, I get 3x minus 11 is equal to 5 to the fourth. So 5 to the fourth is equal to 625. Now I just need to work on isolating the variable. So I'm going to start off by adding 11 to both sides. So when I add 11 to both sides, I get 3x equals 636. And now I just need to work on dividing both sides by 3 so I can get x by itself. So I have x is equal to 636 divided by 3, which is 212. Let's go ahead and make sure that our solution works so we can check. And so that gives us the fourth root of 3 times 212 minus 11 minus 2 equals 3. So that's the fourth root of 636 minus 11 minus 2 equals 3. So that's the fourth root of 625 minus 2 equals 3. The fourth root of 625 is 5. So 5 minus 2 equals 3 is in fact true.